All right, what's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday, it is hump day, and I hope you're having a great day so far. Man, we're about to kick it off with episode number 8. The weather here, like I always start the podcast, the weather in Dallas is amazing. It's been great all week. I tell you what, we've been doing workouts outside, opening up the gym doors so that way you can get some fresh air in the gym. Again, we're live here over at Next Rep Fitness here in Dallas, and so yeah, it's a great day. And today on the podcast, I'm taking a Q&A. So here in about 20 minutes or so, I want you guys to go and watch us live if you want to interact and ask your own questions. I took a poll last night on different questions on my Instagram. I just put a story out there that asked people, hey, what kind of questions would you like me to answer? And I had people write in some questions, so I'm going to tackle those later on in the show. But till then, let's talk about what the week looked like for me. You guys know from the last podcast I talked about we had to go to Corpus Christi for my daughter's DI competition that she has, and unfortunately it didn't go as planned for them. The contraption is supposed to balance on this the structure that they make, the piece of wood is supposed to balance on top of it, and they should be able to slide a piece of paper on all 4 corners to make sure it's clear, and it wasn't balancing and it was cutting into their time, so they had to do a little improv on their act, and it didn't work out for them too well. So their DI season is over, and now they're focused on doing the next project for next year. But yeah, man, we had a great time though. Even though it was short in Corpus Christi, the weather ended up being great. We thought it was going to rain. We went and ate at some really cool restaurants. I started my vlog, so all week I was just taking bits and pieces of every single day from Monday all the way to Sunday. And I'm still working on it. I'm kind of realizing that I probably might not do as many clips, because right now I'm close to about 40 minutes of clips, and it's about 3 hours of video that I've edited down. So but the whole point of it, and I'll probably do like part 1, part 2, but the whole point of it is to show you guys, you know, the day in the life of what I do, what I try to do to work out, stay in shape, the type of foods that I'm eating, what I got to do with my business, how I try to, you know, mingle all that together and still have a home life and be on the road, and you know, that type of deal. So after the podcast, I'm going to go do my workout today, and then head to the home and do some more editing. And then I got to do my second workout, which I'll explain why later. And I'll get this podcast currently on the YouTube channel, so that way you guys can also watch this as well. And then hopefully I'll get the vlog, the first vlog video out today, if not by Friday, because like I said, it's a lot of editing, so I'm learning to cut that down a little bit. But I really want to share with you guys reality of what you guys can do and what is possible if you really put your mind to doing it. And then, like I said, with that YouTube, it's called Myler Flex N, the letter N, podcast. So Myler Flex N podcast. So go there, follow it, subscribe to it, so that way you can always see the videos. Some people, they don't have Spotify, or they don't want to download apps on their phone, or sometimes they just don't even want to listen to podcasts and they'd rather watch something. So that's why I'm also putting the podcast on YouTube as well, so that way you guys have all areas to view it, enjoy, and interact when we go live. Today is the first day that I'm going live, not only on Instagram on the Myler Flex page, but also on the gym page for Facebook. So Next Rep Fitness, NXT Rep Fitness. I'm going live on there as well today with this podcast once we go into the Q&A segment, so that way you guys can interact, you know, as much as you can. I'll try to answer as much as I can. I definitely want you guys involved in this. After last week's podcast. I warned you guys I was going to go off a little bit. You know, it was something that was meant something to me, and I went off a little bit on men that don't take care of themselves, and the response was really surprising. I got about 4 or 5 guys pretty much right after that. They contacted me on Facebook, and they were like, Cody, I really enjoyed listening to your podcast today. And a couple of them I've known. They like one guy I actually went to school with, another guy I've just known, acquaintance, and then other people they just happen to be listening. And they were just like, hey, you're so right about, you know, what you were saying in your message. And one guy, he showed me these pictures that he's a little bit younger than me, but I think he's lost like 200 and some odd pounds in a couple of years. And I mean, he looks awesome. He looks great. And with his permission, I'll have to ask him later. I might put that picture of him up on the YouTube video. But he looked amazing, and he was the prime person that I was talking to. Somebody that was young enough that could still take control of his life, and he wasn't doing anything at that time. He wasn't doing anything to help his body, help his health, help his mind, help anything. And you know, all of a sudden he just finally said, you know what, enough is enough, and he went ahead and he made a change. I haven't gotten a chance to really dive down into what were those changes and why he made it. Maybe that's something that I can talk to him about, and I can share on a podcast with you guys on, you know, what was that change? What made him to go from, you know, I'm just guessing he was like 280 pounds or something like that. Well, no, he wouldn't be 280 because he'd only be 80 pounds, but I don't know, he was pretty heavy to where he is right now. And so I definitely want to figure that out and talk to him. But and over the last, I don't know, maybe last month and a half, 2 months, I was kind of thinking about this the other day when I was working out. That's when my brain really starts ticking when I work out. I'm listening to other podcasts as well, but my brain is just it's constantly going. And what I was just kind of reflecting on what I've been doing lately, and I've really been trying to put a lot more effort into really pushing what I've been doing and trying to inspire more and be more open about, you know, the type of diet that I'm doing, which is a keto diet, which I've been coaching for 6 years, the workouts, and then just really being more involved with everybody all together on social media and even outside of that. And it's been crazy when I really sit back and think about how many people I've kind of influenced, whether directly or indirectly in a way. Like, there's many people out there that have just met me, and we just talked for about 10-15 minutes and talked about the keto diet, what I'm doing, or even take the keto diet out of it, just talked about how I got back into it again, and just incorporating just 30-minute workouts 3 times a week, just trying to get that going. And how many people I've heard from in the last few months of, Cody, wow, you know, even just talking to you after 10-15 minutes, I decided to do this, I decided to do that, and I've lost this many pounds, X amount of pounds. You know, it's really when I really think about it, it's kind of overwhelming to think of how many people have been losing weight, changing their habits, just from the little stuff that I've been doing of just kind of talking to people and being more open about it. And like I said, it doesn't even have to necessarily be about, you know, a keto diet. It's just about being more active and taking care of yourself and doing what you need to do for yourself. And so, yeah, I just want to say thanks if you are somebody that I've affected in some way, that you decided, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, that you want to change your habits, you want to start losing weight, if I've had some form of helping you out, you know, even outside of my clients that I have, I want to say thanks for coming back to me and reporting back to me and letting me know that you've been making the change, because it's tough when you have these efforts and really want to help somebody and they don't do anything about it. I've actually got a story about that I'll share with you guys one time. I have a video about it as well, and it's a very real video. It's a moment that I experienced when I was out buying some supplements at Vitamin Shop, and I'm going to share it with you guys. I haven't shared it yet. Soon I will, but you know, when I really try hard at giving you guys inspiration, giving you guys that sense of nothing's going to stop me, I'm going to make it happen. And when you guys actually grab a hold of that and grasp that and say that I'm going to make these few changes, and you guys come back to me and tell me it's awesome and I love it, and that's a great feeling. So I just want to say again, thank you. If I've done anything in your life, please let me know, and that gives me the fire just to keep going and keep trying harder for you guys and do my thing. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's take a listen from one of our sponsors.
Do you like fresh pressed juices? If so, check out Raw Roots Juices, spelled R-A Roots. They are located in Dallas, Texas, but can ship nationwide. So if you're looking for juice cleanse or a daily juice, use this code MylerFlex for 15% off.
All right, well, here comes that part of the show. You know what it is.
What the fitness?
That's right. So we talked about all kinds of different studies or trends, or you know what's going on in the fitness world, health world, diet world, whatever it may be. So got a few little stories here for you, and a couple little studies. One study came out. It's a study that's exercise versus drugs to treat high blood pressure and reduce body fat. This one was really interesting, and it kind of went in line with one of the studies that I talked about, I believe last week or the week before, about mice, and they took these, which was kind of funny. They had these mice do some type of a resistance weight training in a way. And you know, obviously mice aren't going to be picking up dumbbells or anything, but they would put things like, have them on those little you know, those running wheels and stuff, but it had like more resistance on it, and you know, different things like that. And so with this study, it's on I found it through the New York Times, and like I said, it's titled Exercise versus Drugs, and there really haven't been that many studies comparing those two. So there's been a lot of drugs out there that have shown, yes, it helps people with blood pressure and so on and so forth, but there really hasn't been a head-to-head study about, you know, the effects of what exercise is towards to just taking drugs and taking medicine to take care of it all. And I'm the one, first and foremost, that will say, and I've seen it, I came to hundreds and hundreds of times through my time training, seeing people, once they decide to make the change in their diet and start exercising, they've gotten off their blood pressure medicine, they've gotten off their cholesterol medicine, whatever, even arthritis has gotten better with them and stuff. So I'm going to say exercise, it is a form of medicine. It really is, and it's one of the most safest forms of medicine that you can have out there. So what they found out and what they did, this was published in December in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. Researchers at London School of Economics and at Stanford University, they decided to focus on the systolic blood pressure, which that's like your top number in a heart, because high blood pressure can be so physically devastating, increasing risk of heart disease, Alzheimer's, and early death. Hypertension is also treatable with drugs that include beta blockers, diuretics, and many others, or exercise. And so the researchers gathered 391 random controlled trials, and they had 50,000 volunteers, and 10,000 of those volunteers were exercise studies. So what they did though is the volunteers didn't know what they were going to do. So when they came in the door, they're like, okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take this medicine for your high blood pressure, or you're going to start working out. And they had a lot of people not come back once they found out that they were the person that was going to work out. Unfortunately, they didn't want to keep going with that study, but they ended up, they had 10,000 people that did do the exercise studies. And the researchers some of the data from drug or exercise tests and found that all of the drugs and any type of exercise lowered the blood pressure. All those drugs generally achieve slightly greater reductions. That extra bump downwards from drugs may have been a result in part that the researchers believe to the resilience or the health of the volunteers. And so, you know, with them just working out, they couldn't go as hard or as vigorous in those exercises, so the drugs just kind of made that buffer a little bit different. But they went on and they had another study that was showing just their blood work and blood pressure and everything. And then the Mayo Clinic did another study that really just zeroed in on the fat, the visceral fat, and how the metabolism and even just the way that your skin reacted to just exercise. And basically at the end of all the study, and you guys can go find it again on the New York Times website, but taking it all together, it said the studies indicate that exercise can equal or exceed the effects of drugs on high blood pressure or visceral fat. But they also underscored that clinical exercise science could stand to raise its game and develop greater rigor in testing these exercises as medicine. So again, I truly think that should be your first and foremost. You know, start changing your habits, start changing your lifestyle, get exercise in your life. If that doesn't help what's going on with you, then go ahead, seek medication, you know, talk to the doctor, you know, that type of thing. But first and foremost, I can guarantee you most of your problems are going to be solved if you just change your lifestyle to some degree. So, speaking of change your lifestyle in some degree, and you guys know that I am a keto coach and a big keto coach, a new study came out. And this was really interesting. It's something that even myself, I'm going to look into more and dive into some more research. But a new study came out in the medical news today talking about the difference between men and women on a ketogenic diet. Now, the thing that sucks about this is they didn't do it on humans. They did this on male or female mice, like they always do. But what they did is, so they fed a male and female mice either a ketogenic diet or a standard diet. The keto diet that they did was 75% fat, 3% carbohydrates, and 8% protein by mass, okay? While the standard diet consists of 7% fat, 47% carbs, and 19% protein. Okay, so then after 15 weeks, the researchers found that the male mice on the ketogenic diet maintained blood glucose control and they lost body weight. But the female mice, however, they gained weight. Okay, these female mice also had poor blood sugar control compared with the female mice that ate the standard diet instead. So now, oh, you guys are going to go, oh no, oh see, I'm a woman, I shouldn't be doing it. Now wait, there's more into this. So then basically what was the difference? And they say the difference is estrogen. So they went ahead and they removed the ovaries from some of the female mice, and they ran the same exact experiment. And what happened is it worked out perfect for them. So compared to the mice that received a controlled diet, female mice without their ovaries that consumed a ketogenic diet showed a decrease in body fat, and they also maintained their blood glucose control. In other words, without estrogen, the keto diet worked for them. Again, it's in mice, but that's really interesting. You know, this finding suggests that post-menstrual women could potentially experience better weight loss than, you know, younger girls going on a ketogenic diet. So that's definitely something that that just kind of peels the onion back a little bit more. I don't know if possibly taking estrogen blockers would help some younger women. You know, also in my experience, it's helped a lot of younger women get in shape. So I don't know, again, this is in mice, it's not in a true, you know, human. I don't know the exact what the difference is there, but I do know it's worked for thousands and thousands, millions actually. And then also with those mice, I'd like to know where their body fat was at, because I will say, the more lean you are, you really have to dial it in, no matter if it's a keto or a standard, but you really have to dial your macros and dial all that in. It's a lot easier when you got a little bit extra, you know, body fat to be able to burn off. So it would be interesting to see, like, okay, how lean were these mice, or, you know, what was their body fat, and if you took just the mice with just with the ovaries still, would they respond the same way if they took some type of like an estrogen blocker for a little while they were dieting? So that's definitely interesting. I don't know if maybe adding a few more carbs, you know, instead of being so low. What would they say they were at? They were at 3% carbohydrates. I mean, I don't go below 5%, and I don't let my clients, my female clients, go below 5%. And I mean, just recently I had a lady, she's lost 39 pounds, and she's 24, 25, something like that. So, you know, it's definitely something to look into, keep your eyes open about. I'm going to research a lot more on this. I'm going to tag this on my computer. I want to call people, talk to them, and see in the future, can we figure out a little bit more with that. So again, let's move on to the next story. Still talking about keto. This person, you may remember her, and if you do, you don't have to raise your hand, but her name is Jenna Jameson. If you know her by the name, that's all I'm going to explain. So she lost 80 pounds, and she did it through the ketogenic diet. She just posted some pictures about how alcohol affected her body before, and now that she's doing keto and that she's lost 80 pounds and totally has a totally body transformation. So on womenshealth.com, or if you happen to be following her on Instagram, she posted some videos of her before and afters, and she's sober now and totally doing all keto, and it's just changed her world. And I don't know how old she is. Oh no, there it is. She's 44 years old. So she's 44. She's doing the keto diet, and she's doing intermittent fasting at the same time. And she's lost 80 pounds. So, you know, she's not in her 20s. You know, she's not a spring chicken, but it definitely worked for her. And then also got some good news for all those keto people out there. If you are following Goody Beats, he's out of Austin, Texas, and what's really, really cool and I'm excited about, he just went live before we went live on this podcast, and he is talking about a few things going on, and I was writing on there and I said, hey man, you gotta come onto the podcast. And he actually shout out, he was like, hey, Myler Flex, anytime, let's do it, let's make it happen, I'll go on the podcast. So I'm super excited about that. I told him that I'm going to give him a shout out on today's podcast about his new product that he is a part of, and a new, I don't know if it's a product or more of a project, but he teamed up with Killer Creamery. They're a ketogenic ice cream, and I personally have not had it yet. I have not had they've got tons of flavors, but he partnered up with them, I guess they called them, and if you watched him on YouTube, he was always talking about that ice cream and how he just loved it and and he had this one particular flavor that he just thought was the bomb. And so I guess they were like, hey, listen, if you love it so much, let's do a limited edition run. And so they made his own ice cream, ketogenic ice cream, called Creamy Goody Crunch. And it just went for sale, I think on Monday, and it like, boom, sold out big time. I mean, it was crazy. They ended up making some more. We tried to get it, couldn't get it when it was sold out, and then last night my wife told me, she's like, oh yeah, I was able to order some. So I can't wait when it comes in. Goody, I'm going to tag you, I'm going to let you know how it tastes. You swear it tastes really, really good. You say it's the best, actually. You're saying we'll all miss out if we don't get to try that. So I can't wait to try this keto ice cream. It's definitely a game changer for those people out there that need to have that sweet but don't want to have all that freaking fat going on with their diet. Or I'm sorry, all those carbs. Sorry, not the fat. You want the fat. All those carbs going in with your diet. Okay, so I got something that I really want to take just a little extra time on with this. This is something that we're doing. This is what I explained earlier, or I was about to explain earlier, why I am doing a second workout today. So let me kind of back up and give you guys the story of where this started and how this came about and why we're doing this crazy thing. So as we were driving to Corpus on Friday, my wife says, you know, I really need to find a book about mental toughness. I need to, there's areas within my job and even with myself that I just need to be more mentally tougher. And it was really funny that she was saying that, because like 2 days before that, I was listening to a podcast, and it's Andy Frisella. If you guys don't know who Andy Frisella is, he's the owner of First Form. I'll show that up there at the camera. First Form Supplements, which I'm an ambassador for. And he's one of the top podcasts. He has one of the top podcast shows out there. And he put together, well, let me take this. He actually interviewed a guy. Excuse me. He interviewed a guy. I don't know his real name, but he goes by Iron Cowboy. And I'm sorry. He's ran like, I don't know, 43 or 47 Ironmans in 1 year. And as he was interviewing him, the guy was telling him about how his toenails were ripped off and just all this agony, but he still pushed through and he finished all these Ironmans. And people were commenting saying that, that's something that you're born with. You're born with that mental toughness. And the guy on the interview was saying, no, that's not true. I've learned these skills. And so Andy Frisella, after talking to him, things kind of clicked with him, and he was like, all these years that I've been reading these mental toughness books over the last 20 years, there's not a protocol on how do you develop and how do you learn these skills and how do you become more mentally tough. So it was crazy that my wife was saying that she needs to find some books about this. And so Andy Frisella, on his podcast on March 7th, unveiled a plan, and it's called 75 Hard, okay? And it's 5 things. You'd think it's simple 5 things, but it's funny what people do when they hear about it. So the 5 things are, you have to follow a diet. It doesn't matter what diet. You don't have to do keto like me. You can do a paleo, you can do Mediterranean, you can just clean it up, take sugars out, stop drinking soda. Whatever your diet is, you have to do it, and you cannot cheat at all. This is for 75 days, okay? That's why it's 75 hard. 75 days, so you cannot cheat at all to whatever your diet is. Also, that means no alcohol. I'm waiting. Yeah, I bet you a lot of you out there just said, forget that. Yeah, no alcohol at all, 75 days. Can't cheat on your diet, no alcohol, 75 days. That's number 1. Number 2, you have to work out 2 times a day for 45 minutes. It doesn't matter what type of workout it is. It can be Zumba, it can be CrossFit, it can be strength training. It doesn't matter what it is, but one of those workouts has to be outside for 45 minutes. No matter if it's raining, no matter if it's snowing, whatever. You have got to go out and face the elements for 45 minutes. You can, like Andy Frisella said, you can pull your damn elliptical outside and do your elliptical outside for all he cares. You just have to be outside. So it doesn't matter, but this is 7 days a week, 75 days straight. You have to do this 2 times a day for 45 minutes. The other one, you have to drink a gallon of water a day. Okay? Can't skip out, can't be like, 3 liters. No, 1 gallon. 1 gallon of water every day. The other one is you have to read, not listen to an audiobook, but you actually have to read a self-help or entrepreneurial type book. So myself, I'm reading Relentless by Tim Grover, which I didn't even know that book was out. Andy Frisella talked about it, and I'm so glad he did, because I hate reading with a passion. Unfortunately, I'll listen to audiobooks all day long, or I'll read articles real fast, but just to sit down and actually read a book, I can't do it. I hate it. But this book is actually about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, because Tim Grover was their trainer. And so it's really, really interesting, and he's going into the psyche of these guys and what made them different compared to everybody else. So you have to read 10 pages, and you have to be kind of active in it. You got to take notes. You need to highlight. So I have it on my tablet and on the Amazon Kindle deal, and I just go through and I'm like highlighting as I'm reading things that I like. So you have to read 10 pages a day. And then the last thing, which it's crazy, a lot of people are like, oh, no, not going to do that. You have to take a photo of yourself every day. You have to take a progress photo. So that way at the end of those 75 days, you can put it together and make like a flip book and really see your changes. I, myself, am wearing the same hat, and I got a pair of swimming trunks, some gray swimming trunks, and I'm standing, we got tile in our bathroom, so I found the tile that I'm going to stand on every time, and I'm taking the photo in the same stuff, so that way at the end I can do that little flip book and see how my body's changed. I'm doing both front and back side photos. So, how many of you guys think you could do that? 75 hard. I tell you, today's day 2, and I've been explaining this. So back to, when my wife said this, said, hey, I need to get more mentally tough, blah, blah. I play the podcast on our way to Corpus. So I start playing it, and during our time, she's like, no, I don't know about this. There's no way. There's no way. And she pondered it all weekend long. We get home, it's about 8, 9 o'clock at night, and she looks over and she's like, I think I want to do it. I think I want to do that 75 hard. And I was like, are you serious? And I did the timeline, and I was like, okay, that's going to go all the way till June 9th. We've got concerts and dinner parties and our anniversary, and it's going to be the beginning of summer and all that good stuff. Are you sure that this is what you want to do? And she's like, yeah. And I said, okay, so I'm going to do it. All right, we are doing it. I'm doing it with her and supporting her. Like I said, we're on day 2, and I've been telling my clients, and half of them think I'm nuts, but the biggest consensus that I get from all of them are they can't, nope, they're not going to go 75 days and not have at least a cocktail somewhere, someplace, a beer somewhere, someplace. Or they're like, there's no way. There's no way I can fit all that in a day. And my rebuttal to that is, if I gave you 100,000, 500,000, whatever that dollar amount is, I guarantee you would find a way. You would find a way to get it done. And they're like, well, yeah. You know, I'm telling you, I am one busy SOB. I'm constantly doing something. And yeah, I'll tell you, the biggest struggle, I hate drinking water. I really do. I don't like the taste of it. So I have to put some stevia drops in there that make it taste like root beer or berry or whatever. I change it up. So, you know, that sucks, drinking the water. But the hardest part of it all for me is making sure that I schedule everything out to get it in the day. And sometimes you're going to have to stay up late, wake up early, push things off a little bit to get these things done. And so, like, normally I get my workout about 9, 10 o'clock. Couldn't do that today. I'm not going to do my first workout until 2 o'clock after I'm done with this podcast. And then I'm going to drive home, do a few little things, and then I'm going to do my jog outside for my second workout. A half a gallon down. I still got another half a gallon of water to go. I did read my 10 pages this morning, and then when I get home, I'll take my photo. So it's all like, it really puts you in a place where you got to plan. And isn't that life? Like, isn't that how you become successful? You know, you have to learn how to plan. You have to be able to tell yourself, I'm going to do this. You know, so it's funny, if you guys go, Andy Frisilla has a podcast called the MFCEO Project. Guys, go on there. I believe it's March 7th. It says the Tactical Guide to 75 Hard. Listen to that podcast if you want to know more about it and really get challenged. He explains everything, explains why he's doing it, and it's really a lot of people. If you go on Instagram and just type in 75 Hard, you'll see all the tags. You'll go on YouTube and see people posting videos, day 1, day 2, day 4, I failed. And here's one thing I will say, I'm a little bit more stricter. The one thing I don't like, the fact that, so say you're on day 33 and you decide to have a mimosa at brunch. Well, that starts you over. You got to go back to day 1. The thing I don't like about that is that for those people, they'll take advantage of that and be like, oh, well, you know, I did 33 days. That's fine. I'm going to enjoy the day and I'll just start all over. And even though there's no prize to this, there's no nothing. You know, he isn't doing this to be like, hey, buy my supplements. You know, it's nothing like that. It is literally a challenge to develop mental toughness. It's not a body transformation. That's probably a byproduct of what will happen to you. You know, by the time you're working out twice, you're not going to drink any alcohol, you're dieting, and drinking a gallon of water a day, there's something that's going to happen. You know, your body will change in some form. But the mental toughness that comes with this, that's what you're trying to gain. That's what this whole objective is about. And so I personally would put, you get 3 attempts. I plan on knocking it out the first attempt. Andy Frisilla feels that most people will fail after their second week, but sorry, I'm getting a dry mouth. I need to drink some water. I think he should have tightened the ropes a little bit and said you get three attempts at this. So if you guys are listening or are going to listen here in the future, and I'm just now telling you about 75 Hard. If you're like, hey Cody, I want in, I want to do it, go on Instagram, hashtag MylerFlex, hashtag 75 Hard. Let me see what you're doing. In fact, so that way I make sure I do see it. Hashtag MylerFlex75. So that way I know that you're doing it. So that way I see you're committing and you're doing it. And let's all try to help each other and hold each other accountable at trying to do this 75-day challenge. So that's what we got going on. Let's go ahead and let's get this in.
Beat of the week.
I got something funny about the beat of the week. If you guys were listening to last week's podcast, I played this country rap song that I've never heard before until a couple weeks ago. And when I was thumbing through Instagram, I came across Dennis Rodman's page, and he was riding a horse. And he had that song that I had in Beat of the Week playing. I thought that was hilarious. So anyways, this week's beat is it's a little bit older now. It's Bruno Mars, Uptown Funk. All right, that is Bruno Mars, Uptown Funk. All right, it's that time. I am getting ready. I'm going to go live on Instagram right now, and I'm going live on Facebook. Again, if you're listening, you can go on Instagram at MylerFlex, Myler_Flex, or we are live on the Next Rep Fitness Facebook page. Wow, when I'm looking at these, the Facebook one is like I zoomed in my face, while Instagram's a little bit panned back a little bit. So anyway, we're live on both of them. If you guys have some questions, please write them. I'm going to try to get to them, and if I can't get to it, I'll answer them on the next podcast or through a post. So here are some of the questions, and I see that we're about 48 minutes into the show, so I'll try to make these a little bit quick. Can you still drink alcohol and lose weight? Okay, yeah. Granted, I know we're doing day 2 of the 75 Hard, and not drinking alcohol is part of it. But I will say that my own experience, yes, can you drink alcohol and still lose weight? Yes, you can. Now, again, everything's in moderation, and everything depends on what type of alcohol it is. So with myself being keto, I really look at zero carb options or something that's a very, 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 very low carb option. So like with beer, I basically just drink Michelob Ultra for the most of the time. Sometimes I have a Bud Light, but Michelob Ultra, is a 2.6 carbs, so that's really something that I have. I have heard that Corona Premier is a really low carb option. I haven't had it yet, and I won't be able to have it for another 73 more days. But yes, you can, and you just gotta be smart about it. If you're going to, if you need liquor, do vodka, do rums, zero carb type. But again, you can't have excessive amounts. You can have one here or there. Like I don't drink Monday through Thursday, and some Fridays I don't, depending on what our schedule's like, or if we have Addison that weekend. And so during these last 6 months that I've been dieting really hard and working out, yes, have I been drinking? Yes, I have, and I've lost 30 pounds. But again, I'm not going over the top. I'm not drinking a 12-pack. Even if it is Michelob Ultra, it won't work out for you then. The thing is with alcohol is once you drink alcohol, and here's another thing, alcohol is a macro. Most people, they're like, oh, what's your macros? Protein, fats, carbs. Well, alcohol is another macro. It's kind of like that one that you just don't give a damn about, nobody looks at, because you just look at those 3 main ones. But it is a true macro that you look at. And what happens when you drink alcohol and it goes into your liver, it basically pushes your insulin levels up and tells your fat burning to just shut it down for a while. You stop burning fat while the alcohol is in your liver. As it's getting processed, once it's finally gone through its process, then you can start open up the gates again and you can start burning fat again. But it will stop during that period of you burning fat. So, you know, can you have a few cocktails here or there, a beer here or there? Yes, you can, but you gotta be smart about it. Don't drink those heavy carb ones, and you should be okay. As long as you're still really, really good on your diet, you should be okay. Should you go over on your calories to meet your protein macro? Okay, so there's two answers to this. If you're a person that's out there and you're trying to lose weight, and say whatever you ate and you already met your calorie intake, so say that, you know, you're only going to eat like 2,500 calories, okay, and you're midway or, you know, 3/4 of the way through the day, and whatever you ate hit your max on calories, but you're still 20 grams shy of your protein. If you're doing this to lose weight, no, don't eat the extra calories just to meet your protein intake. That's not what you need to do. Trust me, you can go on a little, like actually 0.5 to 0.8 grams per lean body mass of protein for your body to function really well. I mean, when I'm doing my macros, I set mine at 0.8 of my lean body mass. So you can go all the way down to 0.5. So if you are shy 15, 20, 25, 30 grams of protein and you've already hit your calorie intake and you are trying to lose weight, it's not worth the sacrifice of going over. You know, unless you feel like, hey, you're going to go out for a jog or, you know, work out some more to keep that deficit, then fine, do it. But if you're not, don't go over. On the flip side of that though, if you're somebody that is an athlete or someone that's trying to gain a little bit more muscle, then it's fine. You know, you can go ahead, try to keep those as lean and as clean of a protein as you can. Try to make, I mean, their first form makes a 0 carb protein that, you know, that's all you're getting. You're getting 25 grams of protein. It's sweetened with stevia, and you know, you're good to go. So you'll meet your protein and not even go over that much on your calorie intake because you're not throwing in all those extra carbs. So if you are an athlete and you are trying to, you know, have better performance, get stronger, build a little bit more mass, then it's fine. You can go ahead and add that extra protein if you're short some. So that's what I would answer to that question. Someone wrote me on Instagram, they said, if I don't exercise at all, will working out for 30 minutes for 3 times a week help? Or does only working out 1 hour make a difference? So let me just give you my own experience on this. I can give you tons of client experience, but I'll just give you my own. You know, for 2 years I didn't do jack shit. I didn't work out, I didn't diet, I didn't do anything. I was really focused on just getting this gym to a place that I wanted, that I saw in my head. I was focused on marketing. I was just focused on my clients and getting more clients, and that's really where my head was for about 2 years. Finally, in June, I went to Vegas, saw a picture of myself with one of my old players that I coached at Jacksonville College that I ran into, and I was like, oh shit, okay, it's time to do something. But you know, I'm that guy that's used to those grueling workouts from college to semi-pro, and I put myself back in that headspace. I put myself back in the headspace from 6 years ago when I was working out for that sponsorship with another company. And I was just like, shit, I do not want to go through that. I don't want to work out like that. I said, but I got to do it. And yeah, you're hearing that. You're hearing that right. I'm saying that. I own a gym. I'm a trainer. And you're hearing me say, I did not want to do it. But I knew I had to. I knew that I needed to. So I literally started off with 30-minute weight training sessions 3 times a week. That's what I did. I did dial in though on the diet. And so I started off 30 minutes, 3 times a week. Eventually, yeah, man, I'll tell you, it sucked at the beginning. Even just that, it sucked. I was like, oh, I'm sore, and my muscle endurance was shit. But after a couple weeks, it went from 3 times a week of weight training to 3 times a week weight training, and adding 2 days of 30 minutes of cardio. And slowly it kept picking up, and I started getting a lot more stricter on my diet as I kept on going through the process. And now I do anywhere between an hour to an hour and a half of working out 5 days a week, which with 75 hard challenge I'm doing now, it's going to be 7 days a week. But that I have clients that come up to me, or future clients, and they ask me that, can I, are 30 minutes going to be worth it, that type of deal. And I'll tell you this, I say to them, I'm really blunt, and I'm like, if there's so many factors, budget, your schedule, really what are you wanting to commit, how determined, how disciplined are you? So if you're a person that is like, hey Cody, can I train with you 2 times a week for 30 minutes? Will that even do anything? You know what? If you're self-disciplined and you're going to really, really, really stick to your diet, and you're going to do your cardio sessions and maybe add 1 more weight training session outside of what we do, then yeah, see me 2 times a week. That's fine. That's fine. But if you're not that person and you need that accountability, then you need to come in and work out with me more. Now, whether if it's 30 minutes or an hour, guys, if you aren't doing anything like this person says, I don't exercise at all, you know what? 30 minutes is going to be fine at the beginning. Eventually, and start like I did. Do it 3 times a week for 30 minutes. And then eventually start just adding walking around the block. And I guarantee you, it's going to start to get a little bit easier, and you can be able to push, maybe do 45 minutes. But keep just pushing yourself. And for the people out there that think, oh, I don't have an hour to commit to working out, you don't need a damn hour. What you need to do is get your ass up and start doing something. That's what you need to do. So don't give yourself that excuse. Just get up, do your 30 minutes, go on with your day. So that's what I would say about, doesn't matter if it's 30 minutes or an hour. What matters is that you do something, and that the stricter you are with your diet, and if you can get your cardio sessions in, and then at least, here I always tell people 6 hours is like, that's great. If you can dedicate 6 hours a week to working out, no matter what it is, 8 hours is like optimal. But if you can dedicate at least 6 hours of working out a week, then you're doing great. Granted, I know 2 or 3 30-minute sessions, that's an hour and a half. It's a long way from 6 hours, I get it. But maybe you can work your way up to 6 hours in the future. So yes, get up, go, do your 30 minutes, and you can thank me later. Okay, actually, speaking of my workout in 30 minutes, I gotta take my supplements, because I gotta do my workout, and I gotta take my supplements I gotta take them 30 minutes before my workout. So, got my creatine right here, and my T-booster right here. There we go. I'm about keeping it real. So you guys just heard me take my supplements, so that way I can have them flowing and going for the workout. So another question is, do I need a diet break? So do you need a diet break? If you feel that your diet, in 2 ways you could use a diet break. If you feel that your diet has just been overwhelming and you feel like, God, you just really are telling yourself, I need a break, then take the break. You don't want to make your diet feel like it's just a black cloud over you at all times. If you feel like you've been going well and for 4 or 5 weeks, and then all of a sudden that cloud's coming over your head and you're like, you know what? Psychologically, yeah. The max 3 days though. It takes 3 days for you to really load up enough glucose in your body to really start taking effect. So I would say a 3-day max. Am I advocating this? No. But if it's going to prevent you from going, where you're from 0 to 100 and then all of a sudden you're going to go back to 0 and not even put your foot on the gas pedal again, then take a break and then go back to it. So in that case, yes. In other cases, if you're someone that's like a marathon runner or something like that needs to do carb loading, then yeah, you might get off your diet because you got a carb load. You got to get your body primed for whatever event that you're doing. But I think it really boils down to where's your head at. If it's something that's just a true struggle and you're hating every bit of it, then yeah, take a 3-day break, get away from it, reset, and then go right back to it. It's a lifetime. It's not going to be, you're not going to just dedicate a diet or working out in a small period of your life. You shouldn't. It's a lifetime, and we hope with your exercise and we hope with dieting and working out, you're going to live a long time. That's what we hope. So make this a habit and take your little 3-day break and come right back into it. Okay, here is another question. This one's going to be interesting. They ask, where is it? Right here. How do you stay on track when your partner says they support you, but their actions differ? So this one that's a good question. That's a really good question, and it's good because I have totally seen that over the 12 years that I've been training everyday people and not just athletes. And I have also seen other couples, whether married or unmarried, that have gotten a divorce or separated because of one decided to start working out and the other one didn't do it. In this case, it sounds like both of them, they are into fitness and they are into working out and everything, but they just have different ideas and different views on how to do it. One person might like to just go out and run all the time and never really lift weights, while the other one wants to lift weights all the time. One might want to do a keto diet while the other one is a paleo person. I would say, and this is going to get into a little bit of philosophical shit from Cody, but what I would say is don't let, if both of you guys are going in a direction that's going to be healthy, you may not agree. Like, there's people that do not agree with me in keto, and it's totally fine. I know in my way and what I've been doing, it's been working for me, and I'm not going to adjust from that. I think as long as it's something that that yes, it is healthy. This person, if they're doing paleo and you're wanting to do the Mediterranean diet, which is kind of similar but also different at the same time, but if you're wanting to change things up and they're both in a healthy track, then let them do it. Just support them. Don't let your differences of, oh, well, you're doing paleo and I'm doing Mediterranean, or I'm doing keto, and you want to go run all the time and I want to go lift and get a bigger PR on my squats and deadlifts. don't let that separate the true value of what your relationship is. So it's just support each other. You both know that, hey, whatever that person's doing, it is a healthy choice, and do it. But sorry, but don't discourage the other person. I think if the other person isn't doing anything to help themselves and have a healthier life, then you need to start pushing that person to get there. Now, if they don't support you, then guys, at the end of the day, it is you. It is your life. And so you got to take care of you at the end of the day. I know that may sound harsh and everything, but at the end of the day, you've got to take care of you. And you hope that your actions show, your results show, and that your partner follows suit. Man, I'm sorry guys, my throat is dry today. Well, normally I'm not talking all the time. So I got another question right here. Let me see. I got quite a few people that are waving and saying what's up. Let's see. Jenna, what's going on? How you doing? Yeah, you wrote big. Let's see. So hard to mess up in my head. Hold up, sorry, I'm trying to read. This was a long message here. Okay, so she writes, because I worked out so hard doing my bikini competition, it messed me up in the head. I don't want to go to the gym at all for months. I still don't. I gained 10 pounds, but have muscle now. Sorry, it's kind of away from me. Have muscle now, but it still sucks that I worked so hard and now I don't feel like working out. I'm slowly going back, but sometimes now it feels like I have to go to the gym for 2 hours. I dread the gym, but started to feel better now that I'm going for at least 20 minutes a day. Cool podcast, keep it up. Thank you. Thanks, Jenna. Here's what I'd say to that. You went through something that was really, really, really drastic. Most people are not going to go into a competition. If you guys remember the podcast, the second podcast I had with Danny, he's actually a trainer here, and I helped him go through his contest prep, and it's grueling. It's a grind. It's something. I mean, in the reality of it all, it's really not healthy for your body. You pull a lot of nutrients from your body. It's really hard for your body to bounce back. Your metabolism is crazy when you're dropping. I mean, with that. And I'm assuming Jenna did this. She was one of those people that was dropping the fats and the carbs big time low when they were coming up to their show, and that is, can put you in a freaking fog mentally for the show. And then after the show, all of a sudden you start eating a little bit, regular and that type of deal, and the work that it goes into doing that, it's really it's an ass whooping. And I can speak from also experience from those 90 days that I was doing everything to get ready. I was training like I was getting ready for a show, and when I thought about, hey, I gotta start working out again back in June, I thought about that, and I just thought about, oh shit, I do not want to do those workouts again, and I totally dread it. Danny himself, he almost didn't work out for about 4 or 5 months after his show was over. He was over it. He did not want it. And what I would say to you, Jenna, is what you just said earlier. You're starting to go to the gym 20 minutes. You know what? You already had that something in you that said, hey, I enjoy working out. I'm going to go do it. Eventually that's going to come back. Don't beat yourself up that you're not spending an hour, 2 hours in the gym. Eventually those feelings of getting a good workout in, you may not compete again, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But you might get back to working out and working out intense, and you might want to compete again. Who knows? But I do know that if you just start to just get back into it like you are, and you're saying you're going 20 minutes, that's fine. Do 20 minutes for the next 2-3 weeks. Then up it to 30, 45. And then get to kind of where you were doing with your training. You'll eventually get there, but I still say just baby step it in, because I totally understand it's a drag. And do things that you enjoyed. You know, what were some of your favorite workouts that you did? What were some of your favorite body parts that you liked working out? And strictly just focus on those for the next month. Just do things that you enjoy. Do things that keeps you in the gym and keeps you wanting to come back. That's what I would say, because that's what I had to do for myself. I really love chest and shoulder workouts, so I focused on those for the first month a lot, just to make sure that I wanted to keep doing it. And that would be my little bit of advice for you. Just find things that you like to do and just slowly work your way up in your minutes. And I think you've got it in you. You know, I saw your pictures from when you competed and everything, and you've got it in you. I don't think it'll take too long before you want to get back to it. And you may not work out 2 hours. You don't need to work out 2 hours, you know, unless you decide, hey, you're trying to go win some show, then you might have to then. But for right now, you don't need to. Let's see. Everybody else? What's up, everybody? So I got one more question here, and then I'm probably going to wrap up the show. Does fasted cardio burn more fat? So, you know, we've all heard the studies about get up, do your cardio, fasted first thing in the morning. Reason why is your glucose is at the lowest levels, and you've got a better chance of, if you do some fasted cardio before your weight training, that you'll tap into burning more body fat. And to some degree that is true, but it is true, yes. There are studies that are shown that it wasn't that big of a difference. It also showed that if you're just not a morning person and you perform better in the afternoon, that you had better results that way of burning body fat. I still say try to do it fasted. I do it fasted, even though the results from doing it aren't that much different. Why not? I think it goes farther than just doing it because your glucose is lower and that you tap into body fat storage a little bit faster. I think it just sets up your day. I think it sets up getting everything going. It eliminates some of your excuses for the day. So if you can get up and get your workout done in the morning, now you got the rest of the day. You know, I've got clients that I see in the evening, and many times they're texting me, hey Cody, not gonna make it work, not gonna do it. If they would have just gotten up earlier and got in early for the workouts, they would have made it. So I would say it goes beyond just tapping into more body fat, and every little bit helps. And if you're really serious and you're wanting to get on track and you're wanting to shed as much body fat as possible, I would say yes, do it fasted, and take every advantage you can. But if you're like, well shit, I can't get it in the morning, I might as well not even do it at all, don't think that way either, because in the long run it's really not that big of a difference whether if you do it fasted or not. I will say if your diet, it really comes down to how many carbs are you intaking throughout the day. That's the big variance there, because you could go to sleep with a lot of carbs, even though your glucose levels are lower than normal, it's still at a higher place, unless you were not eating all those carbs before you went to sleep. Then you've dropped even more throughout the process of the night, and you'll be in a better place to burn more body fat. So that's what I would say as far as Do you do fasted cardio or not? I would say yes. There's more benefits from it than just the glucose part of it and burning body fat part of it. Well, all right, it is 2:16. I went a little long today, and I hope you guys, I'm going to do this every once in a while. Next week we have a guest, but every once in a while I'm going to do these podcasts where I'm going to ask questions, or you guys ask questions and I'll answer. And if I miss some of your questions, please post them. Tag me at Next Rep Fitness or at Myler Flex, so that way I can come back and answer them at the next podcast. Also, do me a favor and go to Myler Flex and Podcast on YouTube, and please subscribe. I'm working hard at editing these videos and putting them out and putting some content out there for you guys. And so I am getting ready to go do my workout, then head home, do a few things, and then get my second workout, because I am going to stay committed to 75 hard. You hear that, Andy Frisilla? I'm going to do this first try, knock it out. So anyways, you guys have a great rest of the week, and I'll talk to you later. Keep repping and flexing.
Hey guys, do me a big favor and go follow Myler Flex on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want more videos of the podcast or workout videos, follow the Myler Flexing Podcast on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Till next time, keep repping and flexing.